with our Class 37, our second last locomotive for this special, which could also kind of be considered the 70 subspecial. Right, so first thing we're going to do, according to the manual, is check all the hoses are closed on both ends and that they're all secured, which they are on this end, and hopefully they will be on the other, which of course they are. Right, next thing it says is enter the driving cab. Right, so we're gonna first enter the rear cab. I know it says the driving cab, but we've got to, is this the rear cab or is this the rear? Okay, this is the, okay, so the first thing we've got to do is isolate the battery, which is now unisolated. Check that the AWS isolation switch is held in unisolated. Release the rear handbrake. Takes its little time. As it says this is number 1 end, we're going to be starting it from number 2 end. I'm also going to be turning on the tail lights. There we go. Nearly released. There we go, released. Tail lights. Well, first cab light. Tail light. Check that all the lighting MCBs are in the closed position, which they are, and then turn off the cab light, and then go to the other end. Right, so it says to enter the driving end. Let me turn on my cab light. Close the door. Well, open the window to get a bit of ventilation. Close the door. Right, so it says check that the handbrake is applied, which of course it is. Check that this is in the unisolated position. Then, automatic brake is in shutdown or neutral, which indeed it is. Straight brake is off, which of course it is as well. Let me just get the eye lights going. There we go. Then, hand fire extinguishers are available in good order. Well, that would probably be located inside the engine room. Right, check that we're in air passenger, which indeed we are. No, okay. The miniature circuit breakers must be all set to on. So control, DSD, engine start, and that's all the ones we can access. Okay. Exhausters are on. So it says I think it's push to isolate. So no. Is it pull or push to isolate? I can't really read it. Let me get a bit closer to my screen. It says pull to isolate. So exhauster switch? No, that's stop. Bye. Okay, so the exhauster is started. Okay. Okay. So we've got all the things that we needed to check on. None of this. Cooker is off. We have no cooker, do we? Oh, it's inside. What's that? Oh. Okay. Done all of this. Okay, right. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, so the first thing it says is to set up the locomotive. Sorry, I'm a bit slow about this. It's a general manual. So it says, for example, on class 31 and 50 on 46, to be careful because of some kind of fault. Right, so master key on. DSD pedal pressed. Don't know why there's a hiss. I don't like that hiss. It's like some kind of valve's open. Sounds like an exterior valve has been opened. No. They're all in the isolated, or all the cocks are shut, so we should be fine. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, in true Class 37 fashion, is start the engine. There we go, that started up. Right, now it says to... Right. Right. Right, okay, so reverse to off. Sorry, I'm a bit slow about that. Right, then we want to turn the brake selector switch to vacuum brake passenger and then reverse it to neutral. You can now see the exhaust is turned on. I want to release the train brake. And we want to turn on the change end lever to on, to let the brake pressure build up together with the vacuum, which is now built up. There we go. Right. We're not droning, are we? No. We've got the handbrake applied, after all. Right, so it says the first thing we've got to do is check that the okay, that's a bit odd. Our brakes aren't releasing. There we go, they are now. They've released. Okay, our brakes have released, so the first thing we've got to do is set them to in... Okay, test the straight brake, so turn that on maximum. Applies the brakes fully. Good, and release. Does it release them? Indeed. Then initial. Let's check the brake pressures on the train brake. Yep. And then in steps to full service and check that the pressures are the required ones, which indeed they are. Emergency. Check that the brake pressure goes to 0 and the vacuum is destroyed. Indeed. And set it back to running. And that the pressures return and the brake cylinder pressure goes down. Let's give it a minute. Let me turn on the lights. There we go. And now. Okay, we've got to hold the brakes in release and see the brakes overcharge. Indeed they do. And it also triggers the exhaust to speed up, which is good. So you can now hear the exhaust is in a low tone, and now it's pitched up. Good. Right, next. Allow the handle move back to running. Right, so we've got to test the SD. So if I now put it in forwards, it should destroy the vacuum, move the brake pipe pressure to 0 and the brake cylinder pressure to maximum. Because we're not pressing the DSD pedal. So little by little, it will apply the brakes. As can be seen, is it released? Yeah. Yep, there you can see the pressure's going down. There you go. Let's see if the pressures go down completely. Well, the vacuum does, and the brake pipe goes down to 40. Under 40. Okay. It's going down. Okay, so we take it's worth it will go to 0. Let's just let the pressures build back up. Actually, let me turn off the reverser. Set the auto brake to shut down. Then let me switch this to air passenger. Operate the vacuum release valve. And whilst we're going to apply the straight brake, and we're going to release the handbrake while it destroys the vacuum. Right, turn it off completely, come on. And then we want to shut down the... We want to open up the brake valve to release. And close the vacuum release chamber. No, close the vacuum chamber release, that's it. And now turn this to neutral. And now we can proceed. So, cab light off. Check the points are set in the correct fashion, which they are not. So we're gonna... Oh god, yeah, they are. This is very confusing. Okay, I'll do them manually. Okay, so forwards, release the brakes. Make use of the horn's two-tone functionality. There we go. And we're off. So we want to change these points. And we want to go down this track. Into siding. Get the loco going, release the power. Clean to the siding. Shut down the amps and start braking. Release the brakes. Apply again. Release. Apply. Release. And we want to stop next to this Class 08. Okay. And we're fine. Right. Lights off. Brakes to shut down. I'm stabling the locomotive. Just start applying the handbrake because that's going to take a while. Close access points. Release the straight brake. Shut down the engine. Turn off the changeover lever. Open the door. Turn off the reverser. There we go. Turn off the master key. Turn off the cab light. And then we'll go to the other cab. We'll just apply the handbrake. Sorry it's a bit slow. Takes its time. Okay, it's now being applied. Now we can turn off the battery and we can disembark the locomotive. Oops, not before getting out ourselves though. There we go. Close the door. Right. Well, I'll see you shortly as I go and do the Class 101 to finish off this video. See you in a minute.